going through my own spiritual development and growth processes, and also supporting other people going through their own processes, I have noticed that one of the things that come up are certain expectations, or rather you could say blocks, that interfere with the spiritual growth. In this video, I want to talk about dropping certain expectations, how spiritual growth should happen. And I will share two very common expectations that I have noticed in working with other people. Expectation number one is that spiritual growth has to be comfortable. And so let's explore more. What does comfortable mean, and what is behind this word? And I invite you as well, while you are watching this video, also to explore what it means for you individually if you were to have such a setting for your own growth. And how do you understand it? Comfortable spiritual growth. Obviously, so I will start. Obviously, people have traumas. Most of us have it. And I have not met so far anyone without any trauma. So yes, people have traumas, which means that they don't want to experience the same or similar pain, suffering situations in their lives, and instead they want to have or be in a safe, rather controlled, predictable environment and in life rhythm. And yes, growth can be sometimes more easy than other times. It can be harmonious, but if we stay for too long in a zone that is comfortable to us, there tends to be a problem. And I want to pay attention to one specific phrase that I have come across during individual sessions. And I'm going to be sharing my own example, my own and my twin flames example. And this phrase is that the phrase, or you could say intention for spiritual growth, that all has to happen in a harmonious way. Well, the words are fine, but I suggest to be a little more careful with such intention. Why? And now I'm going to share my own and my twin flames example as well. So me and my twin flame, we have done a lot of energetic work together, and for a long time we used a certain framework or a certain intention that every time when we were doing this deep inner work, we asked it to result and happen in a harmonious way for us and also for the other parties involved, which may seem like a good intention, right? Good for us, good for them. But what we were not aware for quite a long time, that behind this intention, behind these words, harmonious development or harmonious growth, there was hidden a different kind of energy, actually. And this energy was energy of basically what I could be describing as spiritual breaks to the process, energy that was stopping the growth, energy or perception that this growth had to be smooth and everything had to smooth out perfectly, an energy that it had to happen with ease, almost like too easy. And what this kind of energy did was it ruined and it wrecked the natural flow of the growth process. We were basically interfering with our own processes energetically. And I'm not saying that spiritual growth cannot happen in a harmonious way. What I am saying is that it's important to pay attention when we have a certain intention behind some process. What kind of energy does this intention really carries? Is it when you, for example, if you have a thought or a desire that the process goes easy, what kind of energy is behind these words? Is it truly harmonious, or maybe there is some part of you, some unhealed part of you that wants to avoid true and deep inner work and rather stop the process and not allow it to unfold completely? Because that was story for me and my twin flame. We had our some of our inner parts that were scared that if we would allow fully to energetic processes to fully work out, then that would be change, transformation. And transformation and change for unhealed parts can be scary. It's unknown. So a lot of times they would rather stay in the old, in the safe, in the familiar. So that happened to us. And what we did was we then changed our intention from harmonious to rather let all processes from now on happen in a natural way, the way they are supposed to happen, in the highest divine order, without our own mind or our own unhealed parts interfering in the process and perception of how it should unfold. Because a lot of times our unhealed parts want things to happen gently and safe. If we don't allow our um, energetic or deep inner work process to flow its natural way or natural rhythm, then what we are doing, we are not only interfering, but we are distracting ourselves away from true transformation. And as I mentioned before, it can happen because we have some inner parts that feel scared. And we might feel scared that if the process starts to happen and it develops in full capacity and it's too powerful, then there can be fears that we might not be ready to fully deal with it, and we might get scared that we won't be able to get back in a healthy state from it. So what we need to do in this case is to learn allowance and acceptance, and trust that the divine order or higher consciousness knows what it's doing and it does the best for us. And it is also good to understand that sometimes spiritual growth can involve more difficult experiences and situations, and it might give you a tougher reality to go through. Other times you can go through processes more easily. It's you can never know. And also to remember that for different people, different themes can cause different experiences. For example, for some people, going through spiritual development that is associated with money issues or financial issues can be extremely difficult and harder than for other people. While, for example, for other people, for example, setting up boundaries or stopping to please their parents can be an enormous challenge, like almost impossible. And it may feel extremely difficult. So, different people, different experiences. So it's good to drop expectations that one certain process has to go in a certain way. It's also attachment to a specific result. And the good thing is to learn to drop these egoic expectations that only thinks about survival and how to stay in a safe place. Sometimes we need a harder push in life for us to go through transformation. And if we resist that, then it means that we resist the transformation. And after you have done an energetic work or deep inner work, it is normal to have days, weeks, or even months until you, or maybe even years, until you fully process that out or part of that, and you ground it in the physical reality. And when you do an energetic work, usually what happens is you start to notice rearrangements in your physical life, and they follow to this energetic process, and you need time. You need time to integrate them and also integrate in your own internal systems or being. But if there is a constant claims or excuses about spiritual growth, then what I would suggest is to pay attention what hides behind these excuses, because it's usually a very strong signal that, again, some unhealed parts of you or ego wants to stay in a comfort zone, safety, which can prevent you from true transformation. And these can be small, almost insignificant excuses, like it's not the right time, or you're hungry, or whatever, because ego is smart to come up with all kinds of different excuses why you shouldn't do the thing, when in actuality you should. So it's better to drop certain expectations about how you should be having a certain spiritual development experience, because it can ruin and wreck the whole process for you when you start to bring in the process more and more your mind and your mental faculties. Another common expectation that I notice in people, spiritual seekers who want to develop spiritually and grow, and these expectations, of course, are rather unconscious than conscious, because if people consciously know about them, they would choose a different course of action. And these expectations are, of course, happening unconsciously. So, and another expectation that I notice is that spiritual growth has to be fast and visible. And from time to time, I have interacted with people who seemingly do the work, but for some reason they don't see the results, and they are like questioning whether the process is actually working and what is going on. And I say them that there can be all kinds of reasons why they don't see or they don't perceive results in their physical reality. And I will name 4 reasons for the sake of time in this video. So number 1, another inner blocks or patterns may prevent them from achieving certain results in their inner growth. They may have started a specific process. They may have released some resistances, and they expect immediate results. But what they don't take in consideration, that there might be other inner parts or other limiting patterns that might also be preventing to experience results from this specific spiritual process that they are going through. So reason number 1, they may not have released all of the resistances or all of the blocks. Reason number 2 is that people have not reached yet completely or fully the core or the real root cause of the situation that they are encountering. And so that's the reason that they need to dig deeper and find the true root cause, what is causing them to live in a specific way. And when they start the inner work, so it can take time. Reason number 3 why they don't see the results is that when people release the old stuff, what they need also to do is to implement or integrate the new stuff in the space that is freed from getting rid of the old. And if they don't embody the new way of living or the new behavior, then the old can return back because the freed space is empty and old inertia is strong for the old to still return, because it's a pattern. And if we dissolve pattern, we need to replace it with something new, otherwise it won't work. And reason number 4 is that sometimes people may have not realized that they have started to work with one of their, if not the one of their major life themes. And major life themes, for people to fully process them out, might take years. And I'm saying that in all seriousness, it can take years to release all the stuff by going through layer by layer and addressing different aspects of the theme until it's completely worked out. So these are the reasons behind the expectations of fast and visible growth, why people might not meet these expectations. One last thing that I want to mention before I end this long video is that it's not uncommon that people have doubts when they go through processes, and if they go through process that involves other people, for example, it's your spiritual mentor or coach or master or teacher or your client or someone else, for example, maybe your family member or your coworker, whatever, your parent, and there is a doubt whether the process is working, then what can happen is then you can start to transfer responsibility from your own from yourself to the other persons involved, and unconsciously there might rise desire to start to blame them, and they are to be blamed that the process is not working out. And reminder is that instead of focusing on others, we have to remain focused on our own feelings. If we have fears that others might ruin the process, we have to work not with the others, but with our fears. So that is it. I hope that this video was useful to you about spiritual process, about expectations, and a reminder that not always spiritual growth is comfortable, easy, and that has to be like that. Sometimes, after we do inner work, or a lot of times, life throws at us an unexpected tough curveball as a result of this deep inner work, and it's up to us how we respond to that. If we fall into a reactive mode on acceptance, resistance, or we recognize that this is the way, and we take action accordingly. Thank you for this opportunity to share with you my own experience. And if you like this content, subscribe to my channel so that you can experience more type of these videos.